Session 5. Why did he die?
Usually, when people die, it affects the lives of family and friends who were close to them, and it changes their life to a certain extent. When Jesus died, it didn't just affect the people closest to him, it affected all who knew him, and even those who didn't. What he did is still changing lives today, over 2,000 years later. The most important thing Jesus did in his life was die. He didn't just die, he died for our sins. Now what's all this sin about? Every time we make a choice, there's a consequence. And when we make rubbish choices, the consequences aren't good. Relationships, friendships can be ruined, we hurt the people we love, and we even hurt ourselves. In the same way, when we do wrong stuff, it creates a gap, a distance in our friendship with God. And another word for making rubbish choices or doing wrong stuff is sin. And the punishment for sinning is death. Now this isn't good, but it doesn't end there, and the reason it doesn't end there is because of Jesus. Now Jesus did some amazing things in his life. He changed water into wine at a party when they'd run out. Nice one. He walked on water. That's mad. He healed a blind guy with his spit and a bit of mud. That's top. But if Jesus had just died, then he would have been a guy that did cool stuff that lived once. But he didn't just die. Jesus came to earth to restore that gap in the friendship between us and God that sin and wrong stuff creates. Basically, when he died on the cross, he took on all the wrong stuff we've ever thought, said or done, and will ever think, say or do. He sorted out our punishment for us so we could be forgiven. Then he defeated death and rose again 3 days later. Now that's a huge sacrifice to make, but he did it because he thought people like you and me were worth it. You see, now Jesus has taken our punishment for us. It doesn't mean we don't die. It means that after we die, we get to go to heaven and live forever. I think of heaven like a never-ending party. It's gonna be amazing. Now let's say you were going to a birthday party, and generally in order to get to a party, you need two things. Firstly, you need an invitation, and secondly, you need to know the person whose party it is. That's like heaven. Heaven is like the party, Jesus is like the invitation, and God is the person you need to get to know. If we accept that Jesus died for us and say sorry for all the wrong stuff we've done, we're accepting that invitation into heaven. And when we get to heaven, God's going to ask us, do you know me? So as Christians, we need to get to know God while we're on earth, before the party. And when we do that, he gives us some awesome promises for our lives. He promises that he'll never leave us. He promises he will never put us through something we can't handle. He promises to protect us, love us, strengthen us, and provide everything we need. He promises to forgive us every time we're sorry when we mess up. He's full of second chances. Now, not many friends could promise you all that. That's why Jesus dying is the most important thing he ever did. This invitation of unlimited forgiveness is not just for the clever people, or the pretty people, or the good people. It's for everyone. Jesus thought you were worth dying for. He wants you at his party. That's why he died.